Alright everybody, welcome to the ARAM tournament, the community ARAM tournament, which was actually one of the donation goals, as I'm still trying to make sure that we can upgrade the studio here. I'm gonna tell you all about the tournament in just a moment, but let's introduce our teams first. Now, personally, I am of the opinion that the only reason why my admin selected this match as the first one is because of the team name of the team in blue. Nishivice Pajatse, is that how you pronounce that? I mean, honestly, I'm trying here, so I think I got fairly close. Probably not 100% correct, but hey, I'm using my best Polish here, so I'm doing what I can. They're going off against RossPierrDoll on the right side, and, well, I'm leaving the chat on. So, normally, as you can see, I'm obviously shutting the chat down just so it doesn't kick in as an overlay. This is all about the community tournament, and yeah, let's see what we're getting. Now, just as a little bit of a side note, these are all best of 3 matches that we're looking at right now. We're currently in the winner bracket, and again, it is an ARAM tournament, so it's all just brawl, and it's gonna be fun. Double Asmodan on the side of RossPierrDoll, so that in and of itself is already gonna be super fun if they're able to stack it. And we now have Gluttony already on 2 of their heroes just there up there. It's going to be amazing. Just imagine Variant jumping in and getting a good taunt with a Malfurion root, and then both of the Asmodans just unleash the power here. Now, when it comes to rules, standard ARAM tournament rule is that you can also forego one of the games if you really don't like the game, the team composition that you got. And that actually happened in this one already. So one of the teams immediately as we headed into game number 1 said like, okay, screw this, we're gonna veto this one. We are not gonna play this. We only got trash offered from the Nexus. So yeah, we want to have another chance. And that's exactly where we are right now. So again, as I already said, it is a best of 3 and it's gonna be awesome. Again, I am amazed that we have a team like RossPierrDoll even playing here. Now, just to, again, put a little bit of context to all of this, there's not a lot of prize money or anything on the line here. In fact, what we have as prize money, so to say, is just some merch from the Khaldor store. I shouldn't say just some merch, because we just added something amazing. Guys, if you haven't seen it yet, we actually have hot butter through cheese merch now in the shop. Yep, that deserves a round of applause. It looks amazing, and if you haven't seen it yet, if you watch this on YouTube, make sure that you check out the links in the description, because it's incredible. So this is a community tournament that we have here. There's no prize money. The teams have signed up anyways. And we have, for the winner, some hot butter through cheese merch. This is all just good fun. A lot of people are going to participate here that are not quite on the level of a team like RossPierrDoll, but again, this is all about having some fun. I can tell you that Asmodan is already having a lot of it. Double kill against Blaze and against Hanzo as we're moving in here on Lost Cavern. We now got a double army of the hell. The push potential that we get from RossPierrDoll is absolutely insane. The blue team, on the other hand, they have a pretty good draft for a normal game, I want to say, but for an ARAM match, I think they're going to be in some real trouble. And so far, it has been one-way street Heroes of the Storm. And those 2 Asmodans aren't even fully stacked yet. Oh, it's going to be incredible. 2 kills to 0, and just, they keep pushing. Wave clear is such an important thing when you're playing an ARAM and you want to be successful there. There's of course a lot of different ways on how you can win one. There's a huge RNG factor as well, and the fact that you have just brawl from the beginning to the end is of course another huge thing. So yes, we're gonna get brawls in those best of 3 series. We have a winner bracket, we have a loser bracket, and the teams, they're gonna fight it out over the course of 2 days. And yeah, it's all gonna be awesome. It's a little bit different, a little bit more lighthearted than what we usually get to see here, and it's gonna be tons of fun. And especially Asmodan here with 122 stacks and 104 currently on Annihilation as the base stacks here. Whereas on level 7 we're now getting the Art of Chaos. But talking about stacks, look at Cassia for a second. We had 3 minutes, 4 minutes in, and she's already at 40 stacks. Normally when you're playing a traditional Heroes of the Storm game, you want to have that stack amount roughly 8 minutes in. So she's doing fantastic. And Cassia is going to be another one to really dish out the pain as the games continue here. So over on the blue team side, they are just trying to somehow evade all of that poke. But the Asmodans, they are unrelenting. Absolutely unrelenting. We have 17,000 damage. Cassia sitting at 15k. And one of those Asmodans is definitely not like the other, if you ask me. So a much higher damage output that we're currently getting from, I believe it's Bronek. Yes, Bronek is doing exceptionally well currently. Nearly on 20,000 now with Azmodan. Up at the top, we have, of course, Ether moving in and trying for another taunt. And he gets it against ETC. Maybe another kill opportunity. Oh, big stacks for sure. And specifically, Bronek is looking great. No stacking, by the way, on the side of Jimmy. Like, even in an ARAM like this, even in a Brawl, we're not getting him with stacks. Instead, it's Ace in the hole as his level 1 talent. Now, as I said before, if they are just somehow able to get some kills, it would be great for them. But the poke that we're seeing here is ridiculous. And they have another issue. You need to move in against this team, but the second you're facing off against Varian up at the front, he's gonna just hit you with a taunt. Malfurion follows up with a root, and that's another problem that you're facing. Malfurion obviously also fantastic to just pitch over a little bit of mana towards the big boys, so that they can just keep continuing to shell away here. And this fort is soon going to be gone. There's no denying that RossPierrDoll definitely got the better end of the Brawl draft here. For sure. So yeah, they definitely were a bit more lucky with that. Also, in this entire series, we're not going to really show the drafts again. You only see one side anyways when you're joining a game like this as an observer. So if you're wondering right now, hey, what exactly were the options? What did they pick from? It doesn't really make that big of a difference, and since I can only show you one side, I've just decided to go straight into the games here and show you the final result. Makes it all a little bit more fast-paced again. This is all going to be for fun, and Tatsu gets crushed. This is the environment where Azmodan thrives. Exactly that. Another hit, and then they just keep coming. Oh my god, I feel so sorry for them. What's better than a laser? 2 lasers. Oh yeah. It's 6 kills to 0. There's also a little bit of a gap, of course, when it comes to just pure skill between the teams here. We're gonna see which teams are doing well and which ones don't. But RossPierrDoll is a team that you see frequently also in tournaments, so they are definitely the favorites no matter what's going on here. Finally level 10 for Nishvice Pajace. And maybe now they can, you know, push back a little bit. Up to this point, they had the huge problem because they were so far behind the experience that they had to face off against an opponent that had level 10 abilities, and they didn't have anything. Maybe with a good mosh pit here at some point, ETC can create some kill opportunities. There's already the Hyperion, maybe a little bit too far out there. Yeah, zones them out at least. But another problem that has, of course, already hit the blue team is that they lost their fort. And with one fort gone, that means that if you're moving towards your opponent's fort, you're running very quickly into a situation where it's nearly impossible for you to just tap off your own HP because, well, you're pretty far away from your own fountains. So you rely heavily onto the healer. And this is one of the biggest things when you're playing Brawls, when you're playing ARAMs in the first place, that once they lose structures and you have to rely on your support or even on the Nexus, it's not really all that good. Yeah, the healing is definitely coming at a premium once that you start losing your structures. Especially since you just can't insta-heal by harping back or anything like that. So, at least on ARAMs. 8 to 1 kill. They got one. So they got at least one. Varian is gone. Varian has been eliminated, so that's already amazing for them. Being able to get one kill here. That damage by now. The damage of the Azmodan. 36,000 for Bronek. Richu gets caught and Azmodan gets killed. They're not giving up on it just yet. Love it. Absolutely love it. So yeah, more hits are coming. Level 14 is in, and, well, they are trying to push out now. There's only a solo support on both sides. I'm pretty sure we're going to see quite a few multi-support drafts as all of this continues. Can't really call it a draft, right? Is it really an ARAM draft? I mean, what do you actually call that? But yeah, we're definitely going to go into a couple of team compositions that are going to be wild as this continues. But this, at least on the blue team side, is fairly normal. But of course, push power is essential when you're playing a Brawl. And here comes another hit. Varian with a side engage, trying to just simply dip in and get that taunt through and tee things up for the rest of the team. Talking about teeing things up, there's a 2-level gap nearly, not quite, for the red team. And on top of that, we are nearly done with the baseline stacks for Azmodan number 1 for Bronek. So that's actually pretty huge. And Cassia, she's at nearly 80 stacks now. Oh, beautiful! Nice Twilight Dream here from Malfurion. Nice reaction from the blue team, but it just wasn't enough to save the day for them, even with the bunker on the ground. So now with a 5 versus 4 situation in favor of RossPierrDoll, they have an opportunity to push in and maybe take down that fort. Already on the move for the keep, and once the keep is gone, you're losing your final fountain. And then you're gonna be in real trouble. And it's nearly impossible to just do anything. So they need, oh my god, I was about to say they need a couple of kills and they need them quickly, but not like this. They're losing ETC instead, so that's exactly the opposite. Quest completed for Bronick. One Azmodan is already fully done. The other one, 340 stacks, is also packing a punch. 54,000 damage. I mean, Hanzo is holding his own when it comes to the raw damage numbers, but it's just not enough. Rega is down. The keep is gone. They come in for the big hit. They want the core, and this is looking bad for the blue team. Seems like RossPierrDoll is going to be able to get the first win in this best of 3 series. I mean, RNGesus was definitely with them when it came to the heroes that they were offered here. One Azmodan is at least down, but now also the minions are starting to chip in, and the core is down to 64%. Even just poking from a distance is probably going to help them here. The talent advantage definitely doesn't hurt. 17 versus nearly 16. Blue team is starting to catch up here, and they're still fighting. I mean, they're still doing their best, fighting as best as they can. Blaze gets blown to pieces though. And yep, here comes the hit. Akunis is sitting tight, gets the heal! Nice! Good reaction from Rega. But that core is down to 55%, and I got more bad news. Azmodan number 2 is back. I mean, Bronick was always running the show the entire game, but now that they're getting Azmodan number 2 back and also close to level 20, that's an issue. Trample as the level 16 talent for Richu. For Bronick, we got Total Annihilation. I mean, he's fully speccing into the globe here. A desperate attempt now by the blue team to move out, but ETC gets caught and trampled. He gets the mosh pit through. The mosh pit is out and the Richu is gone, but so are Rega and ETC. Yep, it's... Cassia gets killed too. She's at 100 stacks, by the way. Cassia with 100 stacks right now, really bringing the pain. But now that Jimmy got destroyed, there's only 2 survivors, and I think Blaze is not going to make it either. He's absolutely caught there and will be killed. He can bunker up and slow things down slightly, but at the end of the day, he is going to be taken out, and that means that only Hanzo is back on the map. We have ETC coming back in, though. Rega on 4 seconds, so they're starting to get a bit closer here. The bigger issue is that we now have level 20 talents, and that gives us pride as well for both Azmodan players. So, yeah, the damage, it will just get crazy from here on out. And that 2-level advantage just in stats alone is obviously great for them too. Catapults are pushing in, the rest of the team is coming through too. And you can see how much damage you can do with the Black Pool Orb of Annihilation. That core is suffering. Every single time they get a hit in here, it loses 4 or 5 percentage points. Down to 45, ETC looking for the engage, gets the Ancestral so he can go a little bit deeper, but it's not going to be enough. And the hits, they keep coming, but they know that... Oh, oh my god! Azmodan, calm down, bro. 84,000 damage. Absolutely ridiculous. And, well, with that, we now have the push very easily for the core. 20 kills to 5. And that is going to be game, ladies and gentlemen. Lead in the best of 3 series goes to the red team, to RossPierrDoll. GG, and well played.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Map number 2, everybody! So, let's go! Let's check this beauty out. And let's see what we can get there. I mean, right now, the first thing, honestly, that comes to mind for me personally is when you're just looking at the compositions. We have Nazebo. They had a chance at a double Nazebo, by the way, and they didn't go for it, which I found very interesting, and I didn't really think that would be a thing, but, well, it is. So, as it stands right now, we got Balor on Nazebo, Voice on Stukov, Zaxi on Hanzo, Akunis is playing Greymane, and we got Asfade on Mephisto. Whereas over on the right side of the map with a 1-0 lead, we got Makotzel on Liming, Ether on Rega, Bronick on Reyna, Richu on Uther, and Cesabos is playing Sylvanas. So, at this point, we got a double support. First of all, we have no tank on either side. There's like no tanks in this one. The blue team, they had an offer to go for Deathwing, and they decided against it, which I found a bit weird because you can definitely use in a situation like that Deathwing as a frontliner, and as a bit of a tank too. Get a range increase here with the Thing of the Deep for Nazeebo, as the blue team is trying to tie the series, of course. But when you're looking over to RossPierrDoll, they actually have Uther now as a main tank, and then they have the second support behind it. So this is not too bad for them. In a game where you don't have tanks on either side, you can at least play Uther main tank and then add a second support for the additional sustainability and heals. That's pretty strong. So RossPierrDoll definitely in a good spot here. This, by the way, Poland versus Poland, when we're talking about nationalities where most of the players are coming from, in case if you weren't aware of it. Lots of damage on the side of the blue team. I mean, tons and tons of damage that can bring out. But there might be a little bit more sustainability for RossPierrDoll, and they should be able to deal with a lot of that. So, yeah, we'll actually see. But then again, either way, we now have camps already starting to get focused. A little bit of karma opening into the game. It's definitely going to be more team fight oriented than game number 1, which was all about pushing for RossPierrDoll. The red team was super eager to just come in and take out whoever they could by, yeah, just pushing the lanes, doing as much damage as they could there. And now we'll just see what exactly can be done by the blue team to try and bring this back. If all that raw damage that they have in their team composition is going to work for them. But yeah, super happy, honestly. For me, it's really cool that we have some of the top players even signing up for an ARAM tournament. You can really tell that they just love playing the game and they want to have some fun here. And that's exactly what we're now going to get with this. And I could be more happy about it. It's a nice change of pace from the, the usual tournaments that we're having. And obviously there are more normal tournaments coming up soon. I already announced, we announced on Discord, we announced on Twitter that we're running the Hanzo Genji Cup, a tournament that is more catered towards the North American audience next. And again, if you are neither following me on Twitter nor on the Discord server, I would highly recommend that you at least use one of them if you want to be updated consistently about what's going on. The links are all in the description if you're watching this on YouTube right now. But this is definitely going to be the best source where you can check things out there and where you will be up to date. And especially with Discord, it's kind of nice because you can also use, the web version. You don't really have to download the app if you don't want to. But in this particular one, we have Li Ming also looking for resets. Haven't really talked about her too much. We have 3 damage dealers, obviously, for the red team, so quite a little bit of oomph that they can bring to the table too. And with the 2 supports, it's a lot of sustainability that should allow specifically Li Ming to also go deep. We're getting Divine Shield. I mean, we might even get 2 panic buttons, honestly. Might see a game where we're getting Ancestral and also Divine Shield, but Rhaegar has always a chance to go for Bloodlust. Very nice trap against Jimmy there for a moment, but even with Greymane jumping in, it just wasn't enough for them to get the quick hit there, so a little bit unfortunate. Anyways, level 1, we're getting the Unfurling Shadows, so Sylvanas is going for a bit of a different build than what you would normally see, which obviously makes perfect sense. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can really not do in a normal tournament game, which becomes incredibly powerful when you're talking about ARAMs, when you're talking about brawls. I mean, some of the heroes that are absolutely excel here, as for example Thrall. Thrall with Trash Lightning as a level 1 choice is fantastic. Suljin is absolutely amazing. There's a couple of heroes that are doing incredibly well, and if you are able, if you're lucky enough to lock a few of them in, then you are definitely on a good path to another victory. And talking about a path to victory, Sylvanas with a double kill against Hanzo and Nazeebo. The Witch Doctor is down, and they can push again. Previous game they had a double Azmodan, now they're looking at Sylvanas, who can also do a lot of work here. So already starting to dish out some of the damage. Mephisto. For just a moment I thought, okay, that might be the end of him after all. Either way, Uther! He's gone. There's the kill for the blue team. Nicely done. So, they get at least 1. Nazeebo, by the way, went into Blood Ritual as his level 4 choice. We have him with Dead Rush on level 7. We'll see how the build continues as they're progressing through the game, but now with 63 stacks. It's a little bit tricky to get proper stacks on a 1-lane map, so if you're playing Nazeebo and Rams, if you get to the point where you can get enough stacks for a Violent Infection, fantastic. but sometimes it gets tricky. So far he's doing actually very, very well and has caught most of the minions, all of the waves that were pushing against them. So yeah, not too bad. But with that done, a little push here, level 10 is close. And then we're gonna see what the two supports have in mind. If Rhaegar goes full Bloodlust, or if they're going just real panic button, trying to keep the damage dealers alive. So, moment of truth. What are we getting? Li Ming, by the way, has also gone on level 7, not into Calamity, but into Seeker. That might change some of the options for them. Uther with the Divine Shield. There's also Ancestral, and both teams with Heroics now, as they're starting to make a play. No Gary the Gargantuan, instead we get the Ravenous Spirit for our boy Nazebo. And they're pushing it. Oh, nice! The arrow and the kill. Beautiful kill, honestly. Li Ming nearly died to the ult of Mephisto. So that was nicely done. First the arrow from Hanzo. The follow-up as Greymane moved in. Rhaegar didn't stand a chance. And then afterwards, even with the Divine Shield from Uther, Li Ming was close to dying too. So the blue team, they're doing what they can. They're coming in with a vengeance. They're really trying to take him on as best they can. It's going to be difficult. Very difficult indeed. So as it stands, we're now looking at... I mean, fort on the blue team side is nearly gone. So once you remove that fort, that fountain is gone as well. As I explained previously, that makes things just so much more dangerous. So now that they're starting to move through here, another push by RossPierrDoll. They're clearly the favorites. They're definitely the favorites in the series here. But ARAM has its own rules, and obviously the RNG factor is also always present whenever you're going from one game into another. Bronic right now, also still trying to get those hits in. And Sylvanas is stacking on level 4. Nothing too amazing just yet, but she's working it. 25,000 damage nearly for Jimmy, and roughly the same numbers that Hanzo brings to the table here. And both teams are on level 12. There's the arrow! And the kill attempt against Li Ming. But she's alive, got even the Ancestral from Rhaegar. So she gets the full spa treatment over here, can relax and chill while everybody is just taking care of her. So good for Li Ming, well done. But the blue team is starting to get a bit closer towards that fort. They've done well, they took the wall down. Now they're pushing in even more aggressively. Nazebo on 20,000 damage. Keep in mind, they got a... Oh my god, Stukov gone. That is the only support that they have. They have only one support and that's it. But Greymane engages heavily as he's trying to take down Li Ming. Problem is, he's gonna die for it. He's not gonna make it. They might have to chase him a bit. Rhaegar is gonna come in with a jump. But Jimmy died too. Greymane gets wrecked over here. Leaves us with a 3 versus 4 now that Stukov is back. But he still has some travel time left. That fort is dangerously low on the other hand. So it will be destroyed very soon. Another quick jump as Zaxi is getting out quickly. Aether also moving back out. Fort gone. And I mean, that's really what they wanted to do here, isn't it? They wanted to take that fort out. Once that you eliminate the fort, you know your opponent is going to have much more trouble with sustainability, specifically since they're also only playing a single support instead of the double that we're getting for RossPierrDoll. But now is a chance to, you know, push this a little bit further. And, well, the blue team knows that they have to now be a bit more aggressive and really push for some structural damage as well, or in the long run. They're gonna slowly and steadily fade here. Li Ming is going full glass cannon. I mean, with the level 7 talent choice that she made, that became immediately an option. So, 2 supports behind her. In addition, she went for Seeker. No Calamity, and yep, with that we're getting her on glass cannon so she can dish damage out. And they have 3 damage dealers, so even if there's a kill against Li Ming, they still have plenty that would help them to take heroes on. A few more stacks for Sylvana. She's nearly sitting at 100 now for her level 1. 122 stacks, by the way, for Nazebo. Nazebo is not looking too bad on that. He is doing very well. We're at level 15 and he is definitely on track to get his stacks together for potential violent infection. But that flanking it on Stukov, that puts them in real trouble. Hyperion is already used. Structural damage is inevitable at this point. That wall is likely gonna fall, and this is just the first step to obliterating the keep itself. Level 16 talents, that gives him another advantage, which leads to Fireflies. No Mirror Ball in this one, and on top of that we also have Benediction now. So they're looking great. Poking away against the keep. RossPierrDoll applying more pressure. They might not have the highest damage numbers in the game, but they are certainly the ones getting all of the structural damage.
In kills, not that different of a game. 4-5, insanely close, but it feels like RossPierrDoll is always just one step ahead. They get the talent first, they get the kills just a second before, and now with a beautiful mind control against Greymane and the follow-up kill through Li Ming. Sylvanas team up for another numbers advantage that they can exploit to come in and start to take that core down. Stukov is gone. Guys, this might be a 2-0 victory in the first round of the tournament here. Keep in mind, there's a loser's bracket too. So if the blue team loses, they still have another shot in the lower bracket. And it certainly seems that way. The core is falling, and it's falling quickly. RossPierrDoll with another great performance here. After the, not quite flawless, but nearly flawless victory in game number 1. They're now applying all the pressure. Hanzo, Greymane, they're both low. The core is just getting hit hard. And this is going to be all she wrote. Down to 30%. There's no saving this any longer. Just right-clicking the hell out of it is already going to solve the problem. Hyperion comes in, can probably take it down. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a 2-0 lead as RossPierrDoll advances to the next round of the winner bracket. GG.